What if everything you have been desperately chasing, the money, the love, the success, the peace, has been waiting for you all along? Not because you worked harder, not because you struggled more, not because you sacrificed everything, but simply because you finally stopped fighting? What if the universe, this infinite, intelligent, breathing cosmos, has already said yes to every single desire you carry in your heart? And the only reason it hasn't arrived yet is because your anxiety, your doubt, your desperate chasing has been blocking the very door through which your blessings were trying to enter? What if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do right now, in this very moment, is not to hustle harder, not to plan more, not to worry more, but to simply relax? Stay with me till the very end of this, because what you are about to hear will not just change how you think about manifestation, it will change how you breathe, how you feel, and how you live. And once you understand this truth, truly understand it, you will never chase anything desperately again, because everything you desire will begin to chase you. What if the very thing you have been doing wrong your entire life, the struggling, the forcing, the desperate reaching for more, is the exact reason why everything you desire keeps slipping just beyond your fingertips? What if relaxation is not laziness? What if relaxation is not weakness? What if relaxation is not something you earn after success, but rather the very door through which success walks into your life? I want you to sit with that question for a moment. Not analyze it, not judge it, just sit with it. Because what I am about to share with you today is not a motivational trick. It is not a productivity hack. It is not some feel-good philosophy that sounds beautiful but produces nothing. What I am about to share with you is a fundamental, universal spiritual truth that has been hidden from you your entire life, buried beneath years of cultural programming that told you that you must earn your place in this universe through suffering, through struggle, through relentless hustle. And I am here today to tell you with every cell in my being that it is a lie. Think about this, truly think about it. When a seed is planted in the ground, does it struggle to become a tree? Does it force itself to grow? Does it lie awake at night worrying about whether it will ever become what it was meant to be? No. It simply surrenders to the intelligence of the earth, trusts the water, trusts the sunlight, trusts the invisible process, and without any anxiety whatsoever, it becomes exactly what it was always meant to become. You are that seed. And the universe, this vast, breathing, conscious intelligence that holds every galaxy in its arms and simultaneously keeps your heart beating without you having to think about it. This universe has already said yes to you. It said yes before you were born. It encoded your desires inside of you like a divine blueprint. Every dream you carry, every longing that keeps you awake at night, those are not accidents. Those are not fantasies. Those are instructions from the universe itself telling you what you were created to experience. But here is the devastating truth that most people never discover. You cannot receive what the universe is trying to give you when your hands are clenched in a fist of desperation. What if I told you that anxiety and manifestation cannot coexist in the same space? Think about what happens in your body when you are anxious. Your muscles tighten, your breath becomes shallow, your mind narrows like a tunnel, seeing only the problem, only the lack, only the distance between where you are and where you want to be. Your entire nervous system shifts into survival mode. And in survival mode, you are not creating, you are merely surviving. But the universe does not speak the language of survival. The universe speaks the language of expansion, of openness, of flow. And the only way to enter that language, the only way to tune yourself to that frequency is to relax, not to give up, not to stop caring, not to become passive and indifferent, but to release the death grip that fear has on your desires, and to trust, truly, deeply, completely trust, that what is meant for you is already on its way. Now, I know what the voice in your head is saying right now. It is saying, but if I relax, nothing will happen. If I relax, I will fall behind. If I relax, the world will pass me by and I will be left with nothing. That voice, that terrified, controlling, exhausted voice, that is the ego. And the ego has been running your life for so long that you have mistaken it for wisdom. You have confused its fear for intelligence. You have confused its urgency for necessity. But the ego does not know how to manifest. The ego only knows how to fear. The ego looks at your desires and says, not yet, not for you. Maybe for others, but not for you. The ego measures the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and calls that gap permanent. The ego creates the very limitation that it then tells you cannot be overcome. And you have been listening to it every single day, for years, maybe for decades. And that is why you are exhausted. That is why manifestation feels like climbing a mountain in a storm, because you have been trying to manifest from the energy of the ego, from lack, from fear, from desperate need, and the universe cannot respond to that energy with abundance. It can only respond with more of the same. Let me tell you something about how this universe actually works, because once you understand this, once you truly feel it in your bones, nothing will ever frighten you again. Everything in existence, everything you can see, touch, taste, and feel is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. Your words are energy. And the state of deep relaxation, that is not simply an absence of stress. That is the highest vibrational state a human being can enter while still in the physical body. When you relax, genuinely, deeply, completely relax, you stop vibrating at the frequency of fear, and you begin vibrating at the frequency of love, of trust, of openness, of abundance. And the law that governs this universe, the law that is more reliable than gravity, more consistent than sunrise, says that like attracts like. Your frequency must match the frequency of what you desire in order for it to manifest in your physical reality. This means that when you relax into the feeling of already having what you want, not faking it, not pretending, but genuinely settling into the emotional space of having it, you become a living magnet, and what you desire has no choice but to be drawn toward you with perfect precision. This is not metaphor, this is not poetry, this is physics dressed in spiritual clothing. What if the biggest mistake of your life has been believing that you had to earn your desires through pain? Where did that belief come from? Think about it. Who taught you that nothing good comes easy? Who showed you that struggle is the price of success? Who programmed you with the idea that if something feels peaceful and natural and effortless, then somehow it is not real, somehow it is not enough, somehow it does not count? That programming is not yours. It was handed to you by a culture that confused busyness with productivity, by a society that confused suffering with worthiness, by a world that forgot its own divine nature and then spent generations teaching its children to forget theirs. But you, right now, in this moment, have the power to remember. You have the power to step out of that inherited nightmare and step into the truth of who you actually are. You are not a struggling human being trying to connect to a divine universe. You are the divine universe temporarily experiencing itself through a human being. And when you relax into that truth, when you breathe that truth into every cell of your body, manifestation is not something you do. It is something you allow. I want you to think about the moments in your life when the best things happened. Not the things you forced, not the things you desperately chased and finally caught after years of exhausting effort. Think about the moments when something truly beautiful, truly unexpected, truly miraculous arrived in your life. Were you anxiously striving in that moment? Or were you somehow in some way at peace? A conversation that changed your life, it happened when you were relaxed, open, present. An idea that transformed everything. It came not while you were forcing and grinding. It came in the shower, on a walk, in that quiet moment between sleeping and waking. A connection, an opportunity, a breakthrough. It appeared not when you were chasing it, but when you had, even for a moment, let go. That is not coincidence. That is the universe showing you over and over again through the language of your own lived experience that relaxation is the portal, that surrender is the strategy, that peace is the most powerful state of manifestation you can ever enter. Now let me be very precise about what I mean when I say relax, because I do not mean collapse. I do not mean indifference. I do not mean sitting on a couch watching the world go by and expecting manna to fall from heaven while you do nothing. What I mean is this: decide clearly what you desire, feel it, visualize it, let it live inside you, not as a desperate craving, but as a quiet, certain knowing. And then this is the part that changes everything. Release the attachment to how and when it arrives. Do what is yours to do. Take inspired action. Action that comes from excitement and clarity, not from panic and desperation. And in between those inspired actions, return to peace, return to trust, return to the relaxed knowing that the universe is working on your behalf in ways that your logical mind cannot see and cannot control. Because here is the truth about control. The thing your ego has never told you, the part of you that is trying to control everything, is the smallest, most limited part of you. It is the part that can only see what is directly in front of it. But the intelligence that runs through you, the same intelligence that designed your body, that heals your wounds, that orchestrates the seasons, that intelligence can see everything. And it is always, always working in your favor. Your job is not to control it. Your job is to get out of its way. What if relaxing is the bravest thing you have ever done? Because in a world that glorifies hustle and celebrates exhaustion like a badge of honor, choosing peace is an act of radical courage. Trusting the universe when everything around you screams, fight harder, worry more, never be satisfied, that is not weakness. That is the highest form of spiritual strength. It takes an extraordinary person to look at their desires and say, I trust, I release, I allow. It takes an extraordinary person to stop white-knuckling their life and to open their hands and their heart and to let the universe deliver what it has always intended to deliver. But you are that extraordinary person. I know this because ordinary people do not ask the questions you ask. Ordinary people do not search for a deeper truth. Ordinary people are not sitting here right now open to the possibility that everything they have been taught about manifestation might be beautifully, liberatingly wrong. You are here because something in you already knows. Something in you has always known. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Not tomorrow, not after you have resolved all your problems, not after the world has calmed down and your circumstances have improved. Right now, I am asking you to breathe. One long, deep, complete breath. And as you exhale, I want you to release, just for this moment, every worry about whether your desires will come, every doubt about whether you are worthy, every calculation about how long it will take, every fear about whether you are doing enough. Release it all. And in the space that remains, that quiet, open, infinite space that you just created inside yourself, I want you to feel something. I want you to feel the truth that has always been here. Beneath all the noise, you are already whole. You are already connected. You are already loved by a universe that designed you on purpose, placed your desires inside you on purpose, and is moving mountains in the invisible right now on your behalf in ways you cannot yet see but will soon experience. You do not need to chase anything. You never did. Manifestation is not a technique. It is a remembering. It is the act of remembering that you are not separate from the source of all things. It is the act of remembering that lack is an illusion, a story the ego tells to keep you small and controllable. It is the act of remembering that the universe is not withholding anything from you out of cruelty or indifference. It is simply waiting for you to vibrate at the level of what you are asking for. And the fastest, most direct, most powerful way to reach that level is to relax, is to breathe, is to trust, is to release the story of not yet and not enough and not for me, and step into the simple, radical, life-changing truth that it is already done. It is already yours. It is already written in the invisible. Your only work now is to stay in the energy of that truth, to live from it, to breathe from it, to act from it until the invisible becomes visible in your life. The universe does not reward the most anxious. It does not reward the most desperate. It does not give extra credit for suffering or bonus points for worry. The universe rewards alignment, and alignment begins the moment you stop fighting yourself and start trusting yourself. It begins the moment you stop seeing your desires as distant mountains to be climbed and start feeling them as present realities already breathing in the invisible, waiting with perfect patience and perfect love for you to relax enough to receive them. That moment can be right now, if you choose it. Everything we have explored together today comes down to one single transformative understanding. You are not here to struggle your way to your desires. You are here to relax your way into them. The universe has already answered every prayer, already fulfilled every longing, already prepared every gift that your heart has ever asked for. The only separation between you and those gifts is the vibration of your own consciousness. And the moment you choose relaxation over resistance, trust over fear, surrender over control, that separation dissolves. You came into this world with nothing but pure potential and perfect trust. A newborn does not worry about whether it will be fed. A child does not doubt that the universe will provide air for its next breath. That original state of trust, that fearless, peaceful, open receiving, is not something you lost. It is something that got buried, and today you have the map to find it again. The map is your breath. The map is your peace. The map is your willingness to look at your deepest desires and say, not I hope, but I know. Relax. Trust. That is the entire equation. And you, magnificent, divine, infinite you, are already everything the equation requires.